Authorities at the Kutama-Sinthumule maximum prison in Louis Trichardt in Limpopo are assessing the damage after a fire broke out at the facility yesterday. The prison houses more than 3,000 inmates, and joining us now via telephone is the Correctional Services spokesperson, Singabakho Nxumalo. Mr. Nxumalo, thanks so much for speaking to us. Welcome to Morning Live. Now, last night, details were sketchy about the cause of the fire, but are you able to give us more detail this morning?
Very good morning, and thank you for having us. We can confirm that the fire was started by inmates, although by setting the cells alight. This happened early afternoon at about 4 p.m. and they started with one center. Kutama-Sinthumule has 3 centers. It's a blue prison, the green prison, and the yellow prison. And it started at green, then it went to blue, and then the last center to burn was yellow. Also affected was the maintenance section. I can say that the damage is quite big. Right now, we are still busy transferring inmates out of that facility to other centers, as the facility is not in a state that it can accommodate inmates.
Mr. Nxumalo, so what is the scale of this evacuation that you are currently performing with more than 3,000 inmates being housed at this facility? How many exactly are you transferring?
It is a big scale. That facility is housing 3,024 inmates. We had to reinforce security by getting other law enforcement officials also to assist us in that particular exercise. We started last night. We're not even done as yet. And you will imagine that 3,000 inmates at a time that will require quite a lot, because you do not just take inmates and put them in the vehicles and you transport them. It means you have to search them, they have to take their belongings, and you have to escort the vehicles which are taking them to other facilities. But what is important at this stage is that we do that without having an inmate escaping, and also ensuring that that fire is finally doused, so that you avoid a situation should there be a resurgence of flames that other people could be injured in that process. So as a department, it was important to make it a point that we do keep everyone safe, but unfortunately one inmate passed on. There's about 18 who are in hospital due to smoke inhalation.
And with regard to those 18 inmates who are in hospital, are any of them critically injured, or, as you said, as a result of smoke inhalation, any of them in a critical condition, Mr. Nxumalo?
I can say out of 18 days, only one whom I can say is in a critical condition, but is stable. This is one inmate who tried to disarm one of the officials, and we therefore called that power abuse. So in order to make it a point that that inmate is brought down instantly and get that firearm back to authority. It was important that, again, as a department, the situation is under control, and we thank other law enforcement officers who responded speedily to assist the officials on the ground. Hence, we could manage the situation.
Mr. Nxumalo, with regard to family who may have members incarcerated at this facility, how are they being informed about their relatives being moved from that facility? And are they also being informed as to where they are being moved to at this point?
Okay, how the process works is that for now, inmates will be moved to other facilities. As they are being received in those facilities, that is when they will also be taking down their details next of kin, and their family members will be informed of where they will be, and that is a temporary measure, as we still have to work fully a program in terms of where these inmates will be. We'll also have to assess the scale of damage there to say how long will it take us to put that facility back at work. So, but for now, what was important was that we keep everyone safe. We're able to transfer those inmates without any incident, and we avoid security breaches in that. So as a department, I think we've done that quite well so far. The job is not yet done. And then the family of inmates will also be informed once those inmates have been received by the other facilities.
And just a final one, Mr. Nxumalo, with regard to the wardens working at the facility, was any of them injured during this fire?
We have a few officials. It was just minor injuries, not something serious, because what was happening is that some of the inmates were quite violent, using whatever that was on their way, attacking the officials. But they managed to make it a point that the situation is controlled, and by moving them to a safe place within the facility, because some may have looked at that as an opportunity to escape, but the officials make it a point that the safe zones are utilized specifically for keeping inmates safe. So we can account for all the inmates and all the officials, those who are in hospital as well.
And just a final question, Mr. Nxumalo, are there any preliminary indications of the cause of the fire?
It is early days, but the investigation will assist us to even pinpoint where the fire started and also who started the fire. We already have identified the instigators, but that is not yet completed. We have to do a thorough investigation so that everyone behind this must be brought before book. This is a huge scale when you look at the destruction of state property there. So as a department, it's important that we undertake this investigation the proper way, and so that we can identify those behind it, and correct measures will have to be taken, and definitely law will have to take its course. It's a lot of investment that has been done there.
Mr. Singabakho Nxumalo, thanks so much for your time. Department of Correctional Services spokesperson, bringing us up to speed with the latest regarding that fire that broke out at the Kutama-Sinthumule prison in Louis Trichardt yesterday.